And look, as the former chair of the RNC, Michael Steele, tried to blow up the Republican Party before. And the Christian, and proof to you guys is the Christian Science Monitor, okay? All those years ago, Rush Limbaugh ripped into GOP chair Michael Steele and said Republicans actually hang up on you when you call Michael Steele. This is from March 2nd of 2009. And it says, perhaps GOP chair Michael Steele is fighting Rush Limbaugh now, so when the next election heats up, he'll have honed his debating skills. Well, it's just to be nice. Far-fetched? Who knows? Look at the Chinese government. Yesterday, they crashed a lunar probe into the moon, and then they crashed it on purpose. At least that's what they said. According to Information Week, they did it to get a lunar landing experience. And so they're basically saying, Michael Steele is just trying to find his sea legs and so forth. And then he and Rush Limbaugh start fighting because Steele was basically back then promoting and supporting Barack Obama's policies. And I want to make this really clear for our podcast listeners because you know how the left can be. Michael Steele's black, Barack Obama is black. All right. Michael Steele was supporting Barack Obama, in my opinion, because Michael Steele supports the policies. But I think Michael Steele also saw himself as wanting to be the first black president himself. And that's why he used the Republican Party as a vehicle to do that, not because he believed in the policies. But Barack Obama's policies were out of control. They were nuts. I mean, of course, now they look reasonable compared to Joe Biden's. So Saturday Night Live, and I'm going to bring you guys in a second, Saturday Night Live in 2013, because that's how long this feud went on for years, did a skit about Michael Steele. And we have a clip on that, and we're going to talk about it, and here it is.
This past week, you went on CNN and called Rush Limbaugh incendiary, but then you turned around and immediately apologized. Is that right?
Oh, yes. It's all good. Rush and I had a great meeting on Monday, and we squashed that beef. And we both agree that what's going to bring people back to the Republican Party is an off-the-hook marketing campaign. Holla! I mean, issues. We got to control all this government spending, Seth.
Well, I'm sorry, hold on. If I can go back. What just happened there?
What?
There's something on your head.
What, this?
Yeah.
That's just the electrode that the Limbaugh people put in there.
Rush Limbaugh put an electrode in your head? That's crazy. Why would you let them do that?
Oh, come on, Seth. It's all good. They're harmless. I mean, Rush Limbaugh is just an entertainer. A great entertainer. A beacon of truth and light in times of uncertainty.
So obviously, the skit was that Rush Limbaugh put a red little buzzer inside of his head. It was an implant, and he was zapped every time he said something that wasn't according to Republican orthodoxy. Funny, right? Except that back then, that's exactly not what was happening, because Michael Steele, as I said, in my opinion, was using the Republican Party as a vehicle to become president of the United States, not as a Republican, not as a conservative, but as a liberal and as the first black president. And then all of his chances were foiled by Barack Obama. Thoughts, guys?
Go ahead, Brian.
First of all,
Passing it off.
I would like to correct the record. William Jefferson Clinton was the first black president. I was told that. I remember they told me he was the first black
He
president.
was, that's right.
But I agree with you. First thing I thought of was whenever there's a parody, there's some truth to it, and I think they were basically admitting that Rush Limbaugh had a lot of influence over the American people and over the Republicans, just like Trump did, because they both spoke the truth and they threatened the other side by exposing them for what they were. It was a false narrative they're always trying to put out, and both Trump and Rush Limbaugh spoke the truth, and they can't stand the truth because the truth sheds light on what they're really trying to do. And I think that's why that clip was funny. Even though, I think that Saturday Night Live used to be funny, and that
It's
was
not
actually
funny now. I know.
that was actually a funny clip. So I kind of like the clip. But
Yeah, from back then. But look, CNN was reporting in 2009 on Limbaugh's feud with Michael Steele. And I think we actually had that clip of Rush Limbaugh himself, just to let you guys know in podcast land what the feud was about. Limbaugh had never really attacked an RNC chair. Certainly he would give critiques and encouragement, but he would never actually do a head-on attack. And here is a clip where he actually did that. And Michael Steele was the RNC chair. And that's because of Michael Steele's co-opting Barack Obama and basically saying, oh, you know, the plans are, we should become more like Barack Obama and his policies. That's the only way we can win elections. We have that clip, and here it is.
It's time, Mr. Steele, for you to go behind the scenes and start doing the work that you were elected to do, instead of trying to be some talking head media star, which you're having tough time pulling off. I hope you figure out how to run a primary system. But it seems to me that it's Michael Steele who is off to a shaky start. Now, Mr. Steele, if it is your position as the chairman of the Republican National Committee that you want a left-wing Democrat president and a left-wing Democrat Congress to succeed in advancing their agenda, if it's your position that you want President Obama and Speaker Pelosi and Senate Leader Harry Reid to succeed with their massive spending and taxing and nationalization plans, I think you have some explaining to do. Why are you running the Republican Party?
Oh, so that, ladies and gentlemen, had never happened before. And that's why Saturday Night Live, of course, did that clip, did that, you know, skit, if you will, kind of making fun of Limbaugh and Steele and so forth. But this is who Michael Steele is. This is back in 2009. 2009.
And that was right during the Tea Party movement, where conservative voices were, you know, beating the pavement, grassroots, wanting to be heard. And
Great
Michael
point.
Steele was squashing that movement even back then because he fundamentally doesn't believe in it. There's a theory, I would say, that's in the political class. As long as they're in charge and, you know, they're doing okay, everyone's okay. And that's just not true for the average American. And they spoke up loud and clear. Those elections, a red wave took over, you know, that election in 2010. It would be fortunate if Republicans could actually work together from the RNC national to the state to, you know,
But
local.
look, but and I agree with you, and we need to. And your point about the Tea Party is a great point, because why did all those blue collar people come out? And that's who they were. These were the working
Mom and pops
people of America, small business people, and people that got up every day and believed in their country. And what they believed was that Barack Obama had hijacked the country for kind of a Marxist utopia direction, which is where he was taking the country, kind of like where Joe Biden is today. And as we can see back then, is they were right because of the fact that Joe Biden is continuing that today. And Joe Biden was vice president with Barack Obama back then. And Michael Steele wasn't fighting. He wasn't fighting on behalf of the party. And now this guy wants to blow up the party.
And I think Matt hit it on the head with the political class, because there's always been this political class, even on both sides. And I think that's what typical Americans reject. They do not like the idea of this status political class, because eventually it does kind of lead towards socialism. And that's what people are always afraid of. If we trust the government to run our lives, if we learned anything over the last year, it is to trust the government to fix your problems is a major disaster, whether it was unemployment insurance, the COVID, where are we supposed to wear a mask? Who's shut down? Who's not shut down? Where do I get the vaccine? It was a disaster. And that's why people risk their lives to leave socialist countries.
Yeah,
So true.
I can't see anyone sitting back and living the year that we just went through and saying, "Hey, do you know what? We need more government intervention." That's the way to success.
We handled that perfectly.
Yeah,
We gave out
more centralized power. Yeah. That's exactly what we need.
We gave out billions of dollars to people that don't even live here. That was good.
Exactly.